Hi to everyone. So this is online class 2, MEM School of Engineering, Department of Mechatronics Engineering, subject MT8701, Robotics and Machine Vision System, Unit 1, Chapter number 2. So myself, S. Sarunan, Assistant Professor, Mechatronics. So this is the course objective and outcome of Robotics and Machine Vision System. This is the syllabus for Robotics and Machine Vision Systems. This is Unit 1. This is chapter 2, unit 1, chapter 2. In chapter 1, we discussed what is robot. In chapter 1, we discussed about what is robot, so what are the applications of robot, then different components used in the robots. So like that we discussed, as well as laws of robotics. We discussed in the chapter 1. In chapter 2, we are going to discuss about classification of robots, workspace of robot, then characteristics like accuracy, resolution, and repeatability of a robot. Okay, let's see. Before seeing the classification of robot, we need to know that what are the types of joints available in robot manufacturing. Okay, there are there are two types of joints. One is translation joint, so translation motion. Another one is rotary motion. Okay, generally, so translation motion means that is the arm will rotate in a angular motion அப்படின்னு define பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா that is rotary motion. So translation motion அப்படிங்கிறது that is linear motion. So forward, reverse, up and high like that. That is translation motion. Okay, so translation motion having two subtypes. One is linear joint, another one is orthogonal joint. So linear joint means axis of input and output link are parallel. So linear joint means axis of input and output link are parallel. So orthogonal joint means input and output links are perpendicular. These are two difference. This is the difference. So that is axis of input and output links are parallel. So orthogonal joint means input and outputs are perpendicular, but these two define the translation motion. Okay, next one, rotational motion. So rotational motion means axis of rotation is perpendicular to the input and output link axis. Okay, next twisting joint. So axis of rotation parallel to axis of link. So axis of rotation parallel to the axis of links. So next revolute joint. Axis of rotation parallel to the input but perpendicular to the output. That is revolute joint. So these three are define the rotary motion. So that is rotary joint. So next classification of robots. So generally robots classify into 6 types. So one is Cartesian, next one is cylindrical, spherical, articulated, and scara. So finally delta. Okay. So Cartesian. So these classifications are done by the uh, joints, prismatic and rotary joint. So prismatic means translation motion. That is prismatic joint. Okay, that is classification of robot. Okay, generally we can classify the robots as movable robots, that is wheeled robot, fixed robot, and unmanned vehicle robot. Okay, so we know that fixed robot, industrial robots are maximum fixed robots. So wheeled robots are used with the wheels controlled by the drivers, motor electrical drivers controlled by the electrical drives. It will move one location to another location. So this is used in warehouses like that. They are using movable robots. So finally, UAV, that is autonomous aerial vehicle. So autonomous aerial vehicle, sorry, unmanned aerial vehicle. So unmanned aerial vehicle means that is connected with the connected with wireless communication. Okay, there is a drones, so like that unmanned aerial vehicles. Okay, they are communicated with the wireless communication. Okay, that is a basic concept. But if you are going for industrial robot, so these are the types of classification of robots. And all depend on the joints, that is prismatic joint and rotary joint. Okay, let's see one by one. So first one, articulated robot. So this robot design features rotary joints and can range from simple two joint structure to 10 more joints. The arms is connected to the base with a twisting joint. The links in the arm are connected by rotary joint. Each joint is called an axis and provides an additional degree of freedom or range of motion. So industrial robots commonly have four axes or six axes. So articulated means so all the links and joints are in a rotary motion. Here we are using three rotary motions. In the base, it will rotate like this. So this direction. So here they are using this type of rotary direction. Here they are using so articulated robot means it will work in here three or conditions. Next, Cartesians. So Cartesian robots are maximum used in the uh, conveyor belts, that is move one object to another one belt to another belt, like that they have moved the materials. Okay, so these are also called rectangular or gantry robots. So Cartesian robots have three linear joints that uses the Cartesian coordinator system XYZ. They also may have an attached wrist to allow for rotational movement. The three prismatic joints deliver a linear motion along the axis. Because so last time articulated we discussed, in articulated they are using three R's. All the joints are rotary joints. Here Cartesian, all the joints are linear, that is prismatic joint, X and Y and Z like that. Okay. Next is cylindrical joints. So sorry, cylindrical robot. So cylindrical robots are working in a cylindrical uh, workspace. The robot has at least one rotary joint at the base and at least one prismatic joint to connect the link. The rotary joint uses a rotational motion along the joint axis, while the prismatic joint moves in a linear motion. So cylindrical robots operate within a cylindrical shaped work envelope. So only it is called cylindrical. So it is uses one rotational and two linear movement, that is two prismatic joint, that is 1 or 2p. So our pp, like that we can define, that is one rotational, two linear movement, that is a cylindrical robot, that is it can cover maximum of this length, minimum of this length. Next one is polar robot. So this work envelope is spherical shaped work envelope. Okay, also called spherical robots. So in this configuration, so the arm is connected to the base with a twisting joint and a combination of two rotary joints and one linear joint. Okay, here we have two rotary joint and one linear joint. If the robot having two rotary and one linear joint means it is polar. So that is it is working a polar shaped work envelope or spherical shaped work envelope. Next one, Scara. This is the first industrial robot for designed for pick and place operation. So commonly used in the assembly application. This is selectively compliant arm for robotry assembly. That is short form is Scara. Is primarily cylindrical in design. It it features two parallel joints that provides a compliance in the one selected plane. Okay, that means here we are using two rotary and one prismatic joint. That is joint one it is a rotary, joint two is a rotary, joint three will be a prismatic. It is connected with the end effector. This is mostly used for pick and place applications. That is assembly applications. Delta. This is the special type of robot. So these spider-like robots are built from joint parallelograms connected to a common base. Okay, the parallelograms. This is the parallelogram. The parallelograms move a single EOAT in a domed shape work area. That is end effector tooling. I mean, that is end effector tooling. That is EOAT. So heavily used in the food, paramedical, and electronic industries. This robot configuration is capable of delicate, precious movement, that is small movement, and uh, handling the handling the base in a particular angle, like that they are using the delta. Okay, so these are the classification of robot. So most of the classifications done by the rotary and prismatic giant. How we are connecting the rotary and prismatic giant in different way, we can classify. This is the classification of robots. So next, workspace. So when we going to implement a manufacturing unit with a robot, we need to define a separate workspace for each robot, because so far some robots are work for welding process, some robot work for the lifting process. We need to define a workspace for the robot. That means workspace means the robot can access the maximum length and minimum length. That is maximum area and minimum area. Okay, that is workspace. So the workspace of robot manipulator is defined as the set of points that can be reached by its end effector. Okay, set of points that can reached by the end effector. That is maximum and minimum. So the workspace of the robot is the space in which the mechanism is working. Okay, for example, so we are using, this is a Cartesian format. So Cartesian format, so it work in a rectangular format. Okay, that means we need to design a workspace in a rectangular area. Okay, like that. So this area defined by the rectangular area defined by the length of the joints and joint length of the lengths. So like that we need to define. Okay, same as this the spherical robot. This robot define the spherical location. So we need to define a spherical workspace. Okay, nowadays we have multi number of workspace softwares. So when you enter the axis of the robot, then joint size, joint link length, like that. If you feed to the software, the workspace will automatically calculate from the um, simulators. Okay. So what is the so for using a robot, the exact knowledge about the shape, dimension, and structure of its workspace is important. The shape is important for the definition of the environment where the robot will work. Shape is important because so we cannot use industrial robot into the home purpose or education purpose in a small room. Okay, first we need to define a shape. So this robot work for industrial, this robot work for educational purpose. We will define the shape of the environment where the robot will work. So that dimension important for determination the reach of the end effector. Okay, dimension. So because if we want the robot end effector, if we want to reach the maximum length means we need to, according to that we need to define the length of the joints and links. Okay. So next, the structure of workspace is important for assuring kinematic characteristics of the robot, which are in the relation with the interaction of the robot to its environment. So kinematics, that means maximum reachable by the particular workspace. So additionally, shape, dimension, structure of the workspace depend on the properties of robot under consideration. The major influence of the dimension of the workspace is exerted by the dimension of links of the robot and the mechanical limitations of the joint. So same as shape and structure. So this is the workspace. This is the advantage of workspace. Okay, that means why we go for workspace like that. There is an advantage, that is 3D representation of workspace gives better imagination of the shape and the dimension of it, and insight on the workspace is given. So workspace gives the possibility for mechanism optimization and the interaction process optimization. Okay, that means if you want to relocate the manufacturing unit, so this will helpful for the new area. Okay, these are the workspace. Next, the performance specification of industrial robot. So when we going for design a robot, we need to definitely know the specifications. Then only you can design or implement or manufacture the robot in a high efficiency manner. Okay, there's a specification parameters, that is number of axis, precision and accuracy, repeatability, payload and maximum speed. So number of axis, that is we have major axis 1 to 3, position the wrist. So minor axis are oriented the tool. Okay. Next, redundant axis are reaching around obstacles, avoiding undesirable and configurations. So precision and accuracy. So like that we are going to discuss. So before that we need to know the degree of freedom. Okay. So already we know that maximum 6-axis robot, 3-axis robot, like that we discussed. So that is done by the degree of freedom. See, the number of degree of freedom is equal to the total number of independent displacement. This is the main point. The total number of independent displacement are aspect of motions like called degree of freedom. So this widely used in the definition the motion capability of robot. So for example, if 3-axis robot means it will work in a 3-axis only. So if for example here they are using 3 colors. So this axis only it will use. If it is 6-axis means here. So this is 6-axis degree of freedom. Okay, like that it can vary. So this is the diagram for comparison of a human hand with the robot. Okay. Next, capacity and speed. So capacity, load capacity and the speed of the end effector with respect to the application, and with respect to the different robots, because small robots cannot carry maximum high capacity loads. So maximum capacity robots are not working in a fast manner. So like that. So depend on the robot design, so it will be varying. First one, load capacity varies between the robots. So here we are using here, for example, mini mover 5 micro robot, that is handle 2.2 kgs only. But GCE XR6 extended reach industrial robot designed for 4928 kg, that is up to 5 times we can that can handle. So maximum tooltip speed may vary between the robots. So Westinghouse series tooltip speed is 92 millimeter per second. So Scara will tip speed will be 9000 millimeter per second. Okay, next accuracy. So capability to position the tool at the target point in the work volume. So one half of the distance between two adjacent resolution points, that is called accuracy. So it is affected by the mechanical inaccuracies. So manufacturers does not provide the accuracy or to control. This is a simple example for accuracy diagram. Next is resolution. So small increment of motion of the tool that can be controlled by the robot. So depend on the position, control system, feedback measurement, and mechanical accuracy depend on the resolution. Repeatability of robot. The ability to position back to the point that was previously thought. So repeatability errors form a random variable. So mechanical inaccuracies in arm, wrist components. So larger robots have less precise repeatability values. Here is an example. That means, so when go for A to T, so if it is required to come for remaining to A. So again, it have to come to the main point. So it will not happen for all the times. For small, for perfect actuators only, the repeatability will be high, 100%. Most of them will be below 100%. Okay. Okay, I know. I hope that. So I covered more all the topics on the chapter 2. That means classification of robot workspace, accuracy, resolution, and repeatability of robot. It is very useful for designing a robot. Okay. Thank you. We will see in the next class. Thank you.